Okie dokie. Here we go. We got posting. Uploading. Close it upload. Yeah, we're live now. We can go. Alright, so today we've got a pub comic. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and I'll map out my frames first. I've got to. I feel like I've already done a comic with this title before, but I checked all my stuff. And I didn't find anything, so I'll go with it. It's going to be a little bit of a wordy one. Make these equidistant. I feel like that's not centered, but I guess it is. I think this will be okay. Hey Sharon, happy Thursday to you too. How are you doing today? Good and not good. Glad it's almost weekend. You have a new cozy game to play? Oh, I have a new cozy game to play. It's like I do? I would love that. We've been walking. Thank you so much again for your wonderful reviews. I saw those yesterday when you posted them. Those really help. I'm trying to figure out how. I know theoretically how to do it, but I want to make a page that shows everything, and then there are also my review app for Shopify has some widgets that I need to figure out how to work and place into my theme. I'm not quite sure how to do that though, so I need to just figure that out. But thank you again so much. Those really do help. I also have to figure out fair, which is kind of a beast all its own. It's kind of like the Etsy for wholesale. And it's now owned by Shopify, so it has a nice easy hook in, but I just have to make sure all of my numbers are accurate and stuff. My game arrived yesterday on release day. Nice! Crafting goals and bedtime. Try and keep this on 2 lines. Shows. I'm going to keep this on 2 lines too, even if it looks a little awkward. And then this is going to be a big 3-line deal. I think it will be. It's just, I think it's just, you know, like with anything, you just have to do it, throw mud at the wall, and proceed, you know. So on this, there will be still some not good piles, but the good box will start to have some things in it too. Alright, now what I need to do is get some of this. You know what, I'll just regroup all of that. And I can regroup this so I can operate on my usual levels. And I think what I'll do is I'll put in my text at the start. one more thing before I do that. Let's move this up just a smidge. And let's bring this down to 30%. You know what? Let me just bring it all down to 30% because I'm going to have text in there. I had to go work for her. There we go. She was hiding under my bed. So I went in and I couldn't find her anywhere. And of course, that's the last place I looked. But she, I was like, okay, well, I'll just set it up just in case. Because odds are, if I don't set it up, she'll wander in, and then I'll have to pause stream to get the camera set up. So I was setting it up, and she finally she busted in the door like she usually does. Going to keep looking at this word. I have looked it up to make sure I'm spelling it right several times. After I'm looking it up, I was like, am I? It looks weird now. Alright, so let's get our stuff. Alright, Sharon. outside. Going to be a little bit long. Sometimes when I hit writer's block, I go outside and take a walk, or maybe I'll change my day and take a moment to laugh and play. All right, and then for the final. I know eventually I'll, well, might make this last set a little bigger. Okay. That's that, and I have my sketches out. That's enough for me for today, and I think I'll go ahead and close that window. I'm gonna make things a little darker. Wait, camera should adjust fine. Definitely need open up these lines. Maybe not that much of a smidge. That should be fine. But I do need to make this guy smaller. That's true. Oops. Make that one a little bit more down. Alright, so let's see, make sure that was centered. I need to get these centered. Oops, didn't mean to pick that up and completely move it. Oops, center. Oh, that looks really weird. I guess that is centered though. And I'll have to adjust these up and down, of course. I wonder, since Pudge misspells good sometimes, I could do good and G-U-D and not good. Let's see. Did I hit? Yes, I need to hit save. I want to take this there out and bump it down a little bit, but the show and no is the rhyme. I don't know if that would... make too much room. I want to make sure you can see the good and not good. And this, of course, is going to be piled by the steps. And then I need another good box here. Perhaps. Maybe I'll just keep it simple and now the word good is looking weird. Piles of paper. And maybe I'll have a couple of rolled up balls of paper over here. And then we need the page here that he's currently working on. And we need the little fly. I feel like my point size is way too big, but it's not. It's actually probably on the okay side. Now I can get rid of the table. What I need to do is draw a couple of piles of crumpled paper. It's kind of like drawing popcorn a little bit, but I need a page that I can crumple up. I have something I can crumple up. I don't want to crumple up that. I got one of these I can crumple up. I'm going to just sit it in front of me so I can look at it. Always use reference. Alright, so... Oh, we got a sort of big stretch, a half stretch. Deserves a belly scratch. So... you can see... really just lumps and levels and kind of, I guess I don't need to have that much. Just keep it over here. I feel like this line should be adjusted a little bit. Maybe I'll add a little see, I draw him completely differently, like when I'm signing a book. And this is something I saw Dave Kellett. I watched as he signed the book I got of his, and it was interesting. He almost has a formula of how he draws in, marker, how he builds his character out. In that case, it was a pug, but I kind of found myself doing that too. So I draw, the nose. I'd start here, and then I probably do that, and then I draw the, the face shape. But I know that this ear is coming over the top, so the face shape has to go over here. This one goes behind. So it was just kind of fun. But I do it completely differently. And here I draw the outline of his head, which is kind of wonky right there, but part of it's not going to be seen, so I feel like it does better. So let's try to make it a little better here. There we go. I think that's a little bit of a better shape. I guess it's because I know I can erase, so I build things differently. I want to have a little bit more of a shoulder hump. I wanted to wipe my nose with my folded thing of paper. That would be kind of pleasant experience. And we need to draw a chair back here. I don't like that tangent right there, so let's move this up a bit. Thanks, Quinn. I've gotten that question actually several times, and it's a really good question. What do you do when you just feel blocked, that you don't, you've got to, you can't always rely on motivation and inspiration. You just got to move sometimes. Sorry, I'm texting with a client here. Got to get some coloring books that I put together for them going. Okay, there's that done. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, so let me back up since I haven't shown the rest of the comic. So how I do this is I have, let me hide that layer. So I start out with a rough draft, kind of just to sketch and get all my ideas out. I feel like if I don't do it this way, I have to hold on to these ideas here, and I'm not really free to fully focus on one frame at a time. So this allows me to free up, capture, the ideas I have for it, and then I can forget about these frames until I'm ready to work on them. And then I go over the top with layer 2, and that holds the print-ready artwork, the narration or text, as well as the groups of frames. And I group it this way because when I go to save out for other social media platforms, I have to, like for example, TikTok and Instagram, I save each frame as its own artboard, and then I have Illustrator export it separately on its own. So that helps me there in that I'm just dragging, dropping, and copying, effectively copy pasting with the drag, copy, and paste. So I get that going, and I drop all my color in the frames with the line art. I use the draw behind tool to keep it on the bottom and the line art on top. So I've kind of come through with a pretty good system, and I learned pretty early on that it's a good idea to keep all of my reference materials on a separate layer, so I can hide it for, you know, when I'm exporting to print. Even though I move everything off, I've had a couple of comics where I accidentally left a piece of a reference in the corner or something, and it just kind of is frustrating. Alright, so I think I'm good on this one. I do need to erase the overlap, but I want to think about it a little bit before I do that. I can move on to the next frame. Sometimes use his face mask as a little, I know I did eyebrows or sort of eyelids here, but I kind of use them to effectively give a little bit more to his expression. Like I'll make them taller when he's interested and his eyes wide open, or I'll make him shorter and fatter when he's scrunched. It's getting all toasty. She's only ever on low though. I get worried because if I put it higher, she starts blepping, and I don't want her to overheat because she would stay on there and just toast herself, you know, completely batty, but she has no perception. So well, not no perception, but she just, I don't know. No, it's probably silly for me to worry, but I'd rather hear her be under toasted than totally baked and hurt by the heater. So, I mean, that being said, that it's a little Sunbeam personal heater thing. It's, how many years has this lasted? I mean, knock on wood, it's kind of like a workhorse, and I don't believe it was particularly expensive, maybe like 15 or 20 bucks. I think it's hot job time. Yeah, it very much so. Very much so. Alright, let's see what our pep talk and a drop is today. High five yourself, get through it, be unstoppable, elicit a few wows today, and conquer today. Okay. That's 5 solid little bits. I still like that other one I had the other day better. Oh, I'm gonna do I forgot to show, here, let me show you guys and hit save here for a second. So more stuff has dropped in Box Lunch, and I think I showed, I'm sorry, I accidentally bumped her. I showed this little keychain, I think, before, but it's got Momo with a flower, a flute flowers, and then it's got a lobster clasp up here. And then I had another drop, is this coconut lanyard wallet. It's got a little retractable coconut head at the top and a clip on the back, and then it's kind of like a lanyard type deal. And then in the front it says it's the if I fits, I sits. And then it's got the same thing printed without the text on the back though. And then it's got a little button to slide some cards in here. And then it has a thing on the front. Yeah, they call it a retractable lanyard. So I thought that was super cool. I'm gonna do a, hey Omar, welcome to the stream. And then the other ones that I had dropped, that one was the last one. Here's the other one. Oops. I think I've shown Pug Life before. And let's see. I don't know if any of these new, okay, here's the other one, the floofy balloons. I'm not sure if, I need to go to my Box Lunch that's close by and see if any of these are in store. I know that the You've Got This was, or is, I'm not sure if they did the floofy balloons or any of the others as an in-store drop. But I need to go see and update that to, because if it's in my, at least as I understand it, if it's in my Box Lunch and Katie, I mean, there are 3 here. There's Galleria, which I'm not gonna go to that one, and Westbrook Mall, I think, and then Katie. So I check Katie and I might check Westbrook, I think it's Westbrook, to see if it's there. But if it's in one of those, I think it's in them all. So glad you like them, Sharon. I'm super excited to have those in the stores. It's kind of unreal to, walk in and, see coconut in a store that's in like every state. It's just, I don't know. It's still kind of hard to believe. How do you stay creative? On some days it's easier than others. I usually draw a lot of inspiration from coconut or the animals or something I'm watching on TV, or maybe shows that have inspired me in the past, or nature. I kind of try to leave my mind open so inspiration can come from anywhere. One of my, I think, silliest examples is that I used to live in an apartment that had this shower with these kind of slate walls, and the slate tiles, I saw at least 5 different painting compositions in them. I could see the characters, I could see, the setting, and so I literally got my inspiration for those from looking at rocks. So you can find it anywhere, and you just have to always be on the lookout and kind of get yourself into a practice of seeing and wanting to see. And it really is a practice, because it's like anything else, it's a muscle you flex, and if you never use the muscle, it's not going to be as good. And it's the same way with writing and drawing and practicing and being creative, shooting a basketball, hitting a golf ball. You have to practice all of these things. You have to get that kind of muscle memory. And as this comic attests to, and I've seen a lot of quotes to this effect, that motivation and inspiration are they're fleeting. They're not things that you can rely on. You can, however, rely on systems and habit. So if you build those systems and those habits up, when motivation is lacking, when inspiration is lacking, you can still pull yourself through. Do you get bored or frustrated sometimes? Not bored. Frustrated, yes, especially if I'm trying to draw something that I am not good at, or I just can't get the right angle of. Like on a couple comics ago, I was drawing, it was an arm in kind of a different position that I don't usually do. And I messed with that stupid frame so much. I got a little frustrated, but I never let that frustration make me quit. I just put it, whatever that is, like for example, that frame, I say, okay, we're going to let it go. I'm going to move on to the next one, give myself a little distance from that problem, come back, look at it again with a little bit more fresh set of eyes, and usually I can figure it out and work my way through. But I've never gotten so frustrated with a drawing that I've quit it. I've truly taught myself to enjoy the process the most. I'm not looking at, I don't attach my satisfaction to getting it done. I attach my satisfaction and happiness to the process of doing it, because I know that the end result may be a failure. But the process and doing it and the learning of it is the success for me. So I don't know if that makes sense, but I guess I'm trying to examine the question on a couple different levels. What dreams do you get while sleeping? Some of my best, I haven't been dreaming a lot lately, but most of them are kind of like a movie. Like I'll have Guten Abend, hello Jack, welcome to the stream. Most of them will be like a Hollywood movie or something, like an action adventure. Those are usually pretty fun. I can't really remember a lot of them in great detail, with a few exceptions. I can still remember some dreams from when I was growing up with just startling clarity, I guess you'd say. Just because they were so, I would probably call them closer to nightmares, but most of my dreams are gone pretty quickly after I wake up. I have a question. I've been thinking of writing, and I've heard that morning pages would be helpful to get into the flow, especially for creatives. Would that work? Definitely. See, I think that it's good to experiment with a bunch of different methods just to see which works best for you, because, you know, a lot of people say, you know, the morning hours are your most creative, or they're also the most free. You know, a lot of people are still asleep at that time, and you can shave off some quiet time to, you know, actually really focus. So that's one positive about the morning. But again, there are some people that are huge night owls. That's when their focus time is the best. And I mean, I would definitely try a bunch of different things, and if you find one that really fits with you, then I would roll with it. Morning pages, I think, are a good idea, because it can kind of be like brushing your teeth. You can attach it to something else. Like, what if you attach it to your breakfast that you already do? Like, sit down, have my breakfast, read a little bit, and then knock out maybe 1 page or 5 minutes. And you start small and then build up. And you can say, okay, my long distance goal is maybe 30 minutes of writing every morning. So start out with 5 minutes of writing, or start out with just getting that book out and your pencil out and making that time for that. Because that's, if you read Atomic Habits by James Clear, that's a really good book on how to create habits and systems that will support your goals. And he talks about that. Like, his example is, if you want to, let's say you want to run a 5K, but you're a couch potato. So it's couch potato to 5K. So he doesn't say, well, get up and start walking. He says, get up and put your clothes out for, oh my goodness, big stretch. Put your clothes out to work out. And then your next goal is you're going to put on your shoes. Because really the hardest part is starting, getting your shoes on, getting your clothes on. And once you start exercising, usually it's, you know, it's a lot easier to keep going to do it. It's the getting to the gym, it's to starting that walk that is the problem. I'm sorry, I keep blinking because my eyes keep, my contacts keep going wiggly on me. Enjoy the process. Just I'm also trying to teach myself. Yes, that's an important one. But yeah, I would definitely try it. I would try to first find a time when you feel most creative, or you know, it could be just initially whenever the inspiration hits you. Maybe just keep your eye open for feeling that throughout the day, and say, okay, I'm going to do 5 minutes today, and I want to watch out for a good moment to do that 5 minutes. And maybe you'll find it's in the middle of the day. Maybe you'll find it's after lunch. Maybe you'll find your most creative moment when you're in the shower. And, you know, you could do writing immediately after that, or maybe part of your bedtime routine, or, you know. But yeah, I would definitely say try it. If you don't mind, how old are you? I'm 21. I am over double your age, Omar. I'm older than you, Jack, but not by much. Well, I don't want his ears to be a little more flippy. That'll be okay, maybe? Oh, thank you, Omo. What advice would you give me? I'm 21 years old and I still have a long way to go. Listen to your parents. Yes, that's always good. I think the best piece, especially at that age, would be to, and it's going to be a fight, but only compare yourself to yourself. So, for example, it would be ridiculous for me to compare myself to, let's say I want to run a marathon. It would be ridiculous for me to compare my progress to somebody who's qualified for the Boston Marathon, which is like the event in marathon running. The best thing to do is to find a way to track your progress on whatever goal you're looking at and kind of do benchmarks for yourself and only for yourself. And I know it's hard, especially in the social media landscape where you're seeing everybody's highlight reel. But that's the highlight reel. You got to remember that. That's with all the ugliness taken out and all the struggle. Because struggle is not pretty. It's not. It does. It sells in certain circumstances, but like if you look at somebody losing weight, you see their struggles and their advancements, and the frustrations, but it's all encapsulated in like a 30-minute watch my progress video. And so you see those struggles, but you see a tiny little 20-second blip of it before you see the triumph. And that 20-second blip may encompass 2 or 3 or 4 years. So it's a little deceptive. So that's why you only want to compare yourself to yourself, because you know that, hey, it's great to have idols and mentors and people that you want to be like and pursue, like an author. You say, I want to, publish as many books as this person. That's great. But don't use them as your measuring stick. Use yourself, and always just take solace and take comfort in your own progress, and don't let the progress of others make you feel less. That's a good piece. Another good piece would be doing it is better than thinking about it. So you can sometimes fall into a trap of, well, I can't start this until I'm ready, until I've learned this or done that. And like in animation, I dragged my feet on that for years. I was like, well, I don't have the training, I don't have the knowledge, I don't have this or I don't have that, and so I can't do this or I can't even try, and that's baloney. It's an excuse to not try. It's an excuse to say safe, and that's what a lot of it is. So you've got to be able to recognize that, and the sooner you're able to recognize that, I think the better off you'll be. The more success that you can enjoy earlier. My attention span is quite good, I suppose. I've been a long time Gen Z, prefer shorts. I didn't give up animation. I have to balance a lot of different things that I want to do. And I did a lot of animation, actually, and there are some of my streams on here that are on my page where you can see me working in Procreate Dreams. I did at least 12, I want to say, animations in the last several months that I compiled into a booth reel that I used at San Diego Comic-Con. So I was really focused for around, April, May, June on getting those done. And yeah, those are a lot of fun. I need to go back into it, and I keep seeing, darn it, my eyes are just messing with me today. Pardon me, let me just put my BRB screen on in case it wigs anything out. I'm gonna put some eye drops in. There we go. Jeez Louise. I guess some days are contact days and some days just aren't. And I am fighting my way through one of those just aren't days. Aiden, hello, remember. Welcome to the stream. I keep on seeing like little announcements and social media promotions, so I feel like the update for Procreate and Procreate Dreams is coming soon. And they originally teased it back in December that it would be early 2025. As things go in the software world, that did not come to pass, but it looks like there are a lot of really neat features and things that they are putting into the new version, so I'm excited to get back into it, and definitely will once that update drops. And one of the things that I'm especially interested in is the save export to GIF, because currently export to GIF is a big pain in the butt. They don't have that directly. You have to export transparent PNGs and then compile them in a different program, which can be Procreate itself if you bring them back over to the main and then use the animation timeline deal. But I feel like that was kind of a boneheaded move that they didn't include that in the original. But how frequently do you experiment with AI? You mean AI? Okay, so to me, AI is still Adobe Illustrator. Are you meaning artificial, like AI stuff, like Midjourney and that? I'm sorry again about my eyes. Oh, this is really frustrating. Hey, Catherine, welcome to the stream. Princess, that's right. Just doing the thing is best thing you can do. So Gen Zs keep thinking we can do anything. I think that's true of any generation. I think that's a more quality of youth, less of age. Well, actually, no, I can't say that. It's quality of everyone under the sun. Doing is the and starting is the biggest hurdle for many. And I can do some funky stuff now. That is true. To answer your question, I don't use any AI. I've never even logged into ChatGPT. I guess you. Well, I can't say that because, well, I've never logged into ChatGPT, but Google uses that AI overview. So yes, I have looked at that, but I usually try and click on the articles that it's scraping from and try to give those places a little traffic. And also I like to read for myself and interpret for myself, because I found the many times that I have, there are omissions and greater context that is left out by those AI captions and summaries. So I don't use it a lot at all. If I were to use it, and I did consider, I did consider it for animation at one point, but I would want to have and I don't even know if this is possible, a self-contained unit, an AI that would only source from the content and images that I would feed it, and not have that open to the world, you know? So I would train it on my artwork and then have it help me, you know, as a single animator. It would be nice to have someone help me with the in-betweens, or I would control a majority of the creative process and direction, and that would be relegated to like doing the laundry or stuff that are, you know, that's the way that I thought possibly to use it. Also in terms of content creation, you know, I've seen, you know, generate me a list of ideas for things to write. That's good, but you got to go through and, you know, I would go through and take the ideas and flesh them out myself. I wouldn't use it to actually write, like make me a blog post that's up about my shop update. You know, that I wouldn't do that. I want to do the work myself. So, I mean, I guess that's my answer there. I think that its best and greatest application would be as a tool to accelerate skills and functionality that's already in place. I'll say it that way. I feel like his tail is on his thigh. Adjust it a little bit there. up a little bit, guys. Alright, let's save that, and I'm gonna move this over. Oh, I need to go in and erase that, don't I? And let me do this real quick. I'm gonna send this to the front. Boop. Boop. And go. You have strict privacy laws in terms of these AI tools. That's good. Prashinder, hello! Welcome to the stream. Good to see you again. Oh, no big deal. I know it's super late over there. Caught up in a little flood. Oh dear. Wait, I've seen some flooding over there. I hope everybody in your family and you are safe. We've had a couple of here that have been just, they call them 1,000-year floods. Thankfully the rains have stopped now. My house is surrounded by, oh my goodness. Is it okay? Is it, I hope you didn't have a lot of damage. Ah, that's scary. Power of water is just, you know, we don't think about it until times like that where you can't escape it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and group this book. Gonna get a big belly stretch? No. Not much. but enough. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and use this book. Actually, I'm gonna use this whole frame, just duplicate it over, because I'll have the idea kind of pop out here. According to stats, who's your main customer for these comics? Who buys it more? That's actually, I would say, good and bad in that, because everybody does. I have, young young kids that, early readers, all the way up to adults that have followed my comics for years and have introduced them to their families. Literally, because one actually, they visit every year at Comic-Con, but I remember they were a couple, and, they got interested in the comics as they were, I believe, in college. And then they came by again when she was pregnant after they had gotten married, and now the kids come through. And I remember one year it was just kind of a moment, because the little girl, she went through and she was telling me about all the characters and all of the lore that she had learned from the comics. That was so special. But yeah, really, really cool to see that. But yeah, so to answer your question, it's not really a good answer, but it is. It's a lot of people. So it's kind of hard to aim and do things like marketing, and I guess I just have to niche down in some applications and just try to aim certain things at certain people to market. But when it appeals to everybody, that's different, and it's a good problem to have, but also it's a complicated one. And you can kind of say the same about some larger properties like Snoopy or Garfield or Calvin and Hobbes. Well, who's their core demographic? It's pretty much everybody now. A lot of people who grew up reading those comics when they were little are now adults, and adults were drawn in similarly when they saw them in the Sunday morning cartoons. Same with Looney Tunes. Who does Looney Tunes really appeal to now? I mean, it's a lot of different people, and if I could keep that going, that would be, I want to build up a readership like that. I would love to have generational readers. That's the goal. But yeah, that was, God, I have this thing called the cute file. And that's one of the cute file moments. All right, I'm going to keep this as is because I am just going to, we're going to have an adjustment here where the book and I need to kind of redraw this a little. I'll do that in the as well. And I do want to I want to move this book out a little bit. Oops. Down a little. And that in probably a little bit as well. Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. I thoroughly enjoyed that book, so how about you? I enjoyed it as well. It took me a while because I saw for the longest time that book everywhere. And then I finally decided to pick it up and start reading it. And I've got that as well as, in a similar vein, Big Panda and Tiny Dragon. Where's the boy, though? Okay. It reminded me a little bit in the art style of Ralph Steadman, but Steadman is a little more, I don't want to say grimdark, but yes, it does hit me as grimdark. There's an edge to Ralph Steadman that kind of disturbs me a little bit, but also fascinates me. I think with that one in particular, what I didn't like was how hard the handwriting was to read. But, I was just like, suck it up, just read it. Because it's everywhere and everybody loves it for a reason. So I finally did. And I'm glad I did. If you like motivational books like that, let me suggest a few that are my absolute favorites in the same vein. Actually, all by the same author. So, this reminds me, I need to use these as a quote on my emails. So Kobi Yamada, Kobiya Yamada, Kobi Yamada, is the author of, so kind of I first discovered him with this set, What Do You Do With an Idea? What Do You Do With a Problem? And What Do You Do With a Chance? So this is a series that's been really popular and successful. It's a children's book, but the illustrations, they're gorgeous. They're very simple, but very, you can't see it, very beautiful. And definitely a series worth investing in. Some of the other books that Kobe has done, this is another one called Trying. He also partners up with different artists for many of these. And this one is done in a different style than, of course, the first, more like charcoal paintings. And I would venture to say closer to realism. But yeah, definitely a great set of books if you like the Horse Fox book and Panda and Dragon. Love those books. We actually have them here in the University Library. Oh, wonderful! Yes, I always try to keep an eye out for the new ones. I think I'm only missing one or two. I've got Finding Muchness, and I can't read the title of it, but it's the dark blue book. Finding Muchness and Maybe. Those are the ones I've got. And I think I'm missing a few. I know I'm missing a few. What book am I reading right now? What book am I reading right now? I'm reading a couple of them, actually. I'm reading one called Seed to Dust. That one's a little bit of a kind of a memoir. I don't know where to put it, but it's kind of the thoughts and ramblings of this old English gardener that tends the garden of this really old lady. It's interesting. It's different. I like how the way he writes. There we go. So my too cute head pile. This is, well, I've started various ones of these, and am working on all of them. So I kind of mix, I mix fiction and nonfiction. Right now, most of these are nonfiction. Well, yeah, somewhere in that. I do like to read trashy YA novels, though. So I mix those in a little bit, kind of like a piece of cake, dessert. But right now I am working on John Truby's Anatomy of Story. That's one. I'm working on Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. Orison Sweet Martson, essays, He Can Who Thinks He Can. It's like a collection of essays. It's pretty big. And I believe this one is about 100 years old. When was this originally published? The writings were originally done, I think, in the early 1900s. This collection is 2016, though. And then Screwtape Letters. So that's what I'm working on right now. But yeah, I've got my TBR pile is pretty big, and I've been trying not to add to it. But that's easier said than done. Yeah, it's, The one thing I want to say is that I wish I devoured the nonfiction as quickly and ravenously as I do the fiction ones, but sometimes I just need to, have a break from the nonfiction and the kind of heavier learning. And it's kind of funny because I used to not read really much nonfiction at all, but if you look around my office, it's like, it's what a lot of what I've got right here is most immediately. All right, let's move this out. And let's come down here for our final frame. So I want to have it, since I highlighted this in the front, he's got nothing kind of in the good bin, he's got a full not good bin. I want to have a little less in the not good bin, but something definitely showing in the good bin to show that, it's not all or nothing, it's a process. And since I'm going to have this on, I want to be lazy and just draw the line across the whole thing. So you can be sitting at a long table, but it's not lazy, it's an artistic choice. Right? How often do you read technical or math books such as Adobe books? I don't read Adobe books per se, like, very often at all anymore. I find that I learn better for that particular application by doing and by online, videos and tutorials that way. I guess as far as technical those, I do read marketing books. I do read, like the last one, let me get a couple of the last few that I did read. So these are more in line of the technical resources that I do read. So this is Josef Alber's Interactions of Color. That one is more of a technical manual. And then like business books, like How to Grow Your Small Business by Donald Miller. I've also read his the red book and the blue book, which is the marketing one, and Story Brand. I've read several of those business type books. And then this is another one that I read recently, Gary Vee's Day Trading Attention. That's on marketing specifically and is more of an update to the jab, left hook or right hook, which was published, I believe, 2012, 2013, somewhere around there. So this is definitely a more contemporary treatment of marketing in a social media age, and it talks specifically about TikTok short form content and different strategies and things there. I haven't read a math book in years, and I don't intend to ever anytime soon. And the closest I'd get to that is maybe a cookbook. I've got salt, fat, acid, heat here that I need to finish. That's also on my to be read shelf, but I'll mix it in. It is an artistic choice. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Sharon. I'm trying to read a stock market basic books. Oh, good luck. Good luck there. Yeah, there was at one point in time that I was kind of playing around with that, and there's like, I don't even remember the name of it, but it was a website that you could log into, and it would, you could play the stock market with fake money. You could like set up different scenarios. Let's say I'm going to invest X number of stock into this company, and then it would treat that investment as, you know, it would treat it as if, you know, with the current things the stock market is doing, you could see potentially how much you would have lost or whatever, you know, made as you were, you know, if you had really invested that type of money. I thought that was really interesting and fun. But yeah, I think that's kind of might be a little bit more stress than I would be comfortable with. Pleasure to speak with you. It's 12:45 a.m. Good night. Oh my goodness. Good night, everybody. Please stay safe. Goodbye, cat. Her name's Coco. For coconut, but I actually call her Bean or Beanie or Beanie Weenie. It was wonderful talking to you too, Omar. Thank you so much for stopping by. Lots of really good questions and conversations. I saw that movie Last Samurai not long ago. It was on one of the channels. I forgot how good that movie was. I need to watch it again from the beginning. I always like the part though with Tom Cruise and what's his name? It's not Chow Yun Fat, is it? No. What's his name? But he plays the main samurai guy, and they always had these good conversations, and that was kind of how they ended it too. It's like, I'll miss our good conversations. Just like, it's always, yes, good conversations. Now I'm trying to remember, is Momo based on, yes, Momo is based on Momo. That was, let's see, I believe her name on her documents was Momiji because we were watching Fruit Baskets at that time, but it very quickly turned to Momo and Momocheat. And actually, I can get pictures of Miss Momo. All of them are based off of Real Cats, actually. Let me just grab the kitty folder here. Let's see here. This is... Here's Momo. Oop! Zoom out here. That's Momochi. She always looked angry in a lot of her photos, but she's so sweet. Here's another set. So this is Momo and a baby Coco right here. And she is always the snuggler. She's the instigator. She forces her love on Tuxie and forced her love on Momo. Here's Momo again on my notebook. And here is Coconut forcing her love on Tuxie. And let's see if I can find Saucy Girl. I did a lot of memes with Saucy Girl. That's Evil Landlord right here. I thought she looked like Jabba the Hutt in this picture, so I did the subtitle Bono Itwipi Momo Ho 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 from Jabba. Let's see. This is Evil Landlord stretching with her toe beams. There's a baby Tuxie. There's baby Tux. Where's Fat Cat? There's Evil Landlord in the sink. Oh, here's a good one. Here's a good one where they were stacked in the sunshine. That's Evil Landlord right here, and this is Fat Cat. This is a kitty power tower. Here's a good one. Here's Fat Fat. She is notoriously hard to take pictures of. And this is Evil Landlord. I decided to see how many things I could put on top of her before she'd notice, and she did not notice for a very long time. And Fat came in to investigate. Let's see. That's them. Is Momo still with you? No, she's not. Unfortunately, Fat, EL, and Momo have all crossed the bridge. They were all sweet, sweet kitties. I think Fat was the eldest of them all. I think she was 17 or 18, and I think EL was about like that. Momo was 17-ish. Yeah, they were all pretty elderly kitties. Oh, let's come in here and finish this. Do all caps in the first? I did. Yeah, there. Coco was a ham when she was little. She was always doing all these funny poses. She doesn't do them as much anymore, but I have a whole archive of photos of her twisted every which direction, sleeping in her various beds. Kitties before Da Vinci. One was named AJ. I had him back in high school, and then we had our cat named Brando. Both boys, and they have two. Oh, I'm so sorry, cat. They're wonderful to have had the joy of their company, I'm sure. Yes, I love cats. AJ was orange, so he's goofy. Brando is gray and white, but he too acted orange. Oh no. I only had. I can't really call that. He was a stray. An orange cat named Tibbs that I had when I was. I didn't really have him though. He was a stray, and he would just come around every now and then. So I can't really call him mine because he was like everywhere, but he would always visit a lot. And I called him Tibbs, and that poor cat had gotten into so many fights. He had like part of his ear was munched off, and we had taken him into the vet to get him checked up and helped out, but he was a fighter, and he was a sweetheart. I don't really recall him having the orange behaviors, but who is this? Hey Dee, welcome to the stream. Oh, good. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm just on the last frame of this, and I'll zoom out in a second to show the final artwork here. have to erase this. Now let me go over here. I'm going to move my little flute over a little bit. Go. And I don't need as much artistic license anymore because I increased the size of my characters. Alright, so there we are. And let me go ahead and zoom in on this and go over the whole comic. It's called Perseverance. And so I have the first frame here. Sometimes when I hit writer's block, I go outside and take a walk. Or maybe I'll change my day and take a moment to laugh and play. I visit old friends in books and shows. A new spark could be waiting there, you never know. Even if my block is there for the long haul, I know I'll eventually work through that wall. I just have to keep going. I split from the rhymey sing-songy because that last line is important. I'm glad you like it, Catherine. Yeah, it shouldn't be too hard to finish on the color. I have, of course, I've got to get some overlap and clean up here and there, but for the most part, it's good. I won't be adding much here, but I just wanted to show that there's, you know, some in the both bins. You know, keeping going. You know, you've got the good with the bad there, but he's found inspiration by trying some different things here. And of course there's a fluke to help along the way. I might draw the little flutterbug here. Well, actually, why don't I do that? Let me just go in here and add that little detail because we've got the idea right there. I might just draw him . Kind of chilling right there on the back of the chair. But yeah, it shouldn't take me too long to finish this. regular colors. Probably gonna start doing my fall comics in September. So, but yeah, that'll be it for me today. I'm gonna go ahead and go my ending screen. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the stream and me going through the line art on this comic. I will be back on Tuesday. Not sure what I'm going to be doing, but it'll probably be drawing of some sort. We'll see. But if you want to see the finished colored version of this comic, you can check out any of my social media. They'll be popping up on screen. Also Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and my website. They all get the new posts. And so you can check them out there. Tuesdays and Fridays, with the exception of last Tuesday because I ran out of time. But yeah, thank you, Sharon, Catherine, Jack, Dee, any of my lurkers. I know that a couple of you have gone to sleep. Omar and Quinn, Argender, all my lurkers. Thank you guys so much again for joining me. I always love having your company in chat. Always a treat. And I'll be back next week. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.